Well, hi, and thank you for inviting me to speak before your summer convention. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I just want to talk a little about what's happening in Washington, D.C., in particular the TPA. You know, I understand how important trade is in Montana. Agriculture still remains number one, but it's not only ag, it's stock growers, and you look at what TPA supports, small businesses across Montana, manufacturing, and the numbers are compelling. About over 175,000 jobs are linked to a degree with global trade. So rested against that, my initial opposition simply had to do with I just don't trust this president. And I sit in the House Armed Services, and any president that would allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon, I just don't trust. So looking at how to get to yes, we looked at the process in the TPA and where we could add trust but verify. And if you don't trust, then the verification process has to be more robust. Well, I did add another amendment that allowed Congress, bipartisan, a six-person panel to be present at all negotiations at the table. So the president's team could not violate the 150 conditions that we put on the negotiation team. And looking at 150 conditions, we added a 26-person industry advisory group that has both labor and subject matter experts that review the text before the text is submitted to the team, that has now a congressional panel that looks at it to make sure the process is absolutely transparent. That team reports back to Congress directly to the Ways and Means. And we also have a trigger. If the administration violates and does not follow the conditions that are agreed upon, then Congress can stop the process. So I looked hard to find a way to get to yes, and ultimately I think the conditions that I had of trust but verify. If you don't trust, then the verification part has to be more robust, as was satisfied, and therefore I support TPA. What we have to be careful about looking forward is the TPP, what the document of the TPP contains, as well as I think we have to be mindful of Chapter 22, which involves foreign investment, and be very, very careful that our sovereignty remains our destiny, and we can make sure that the process itself reflects Montana values as in the best interest of Montana ag and our economy. So thank you for allowing me to talk about TPA today. It is fixable. A lot of what I face in Washington, D.C. is pushing back on a bureaucracy, whether it comes from the Department of Agriculture or the Dodd-Frank or any of the agencies. A lot of the policies are being made by people that don't know where Montana is in the map. And I've always said, if you don't know the difference between Butte and Bozeman and Winnett, then perhaps you're not in the best position to make rules and regulations that affect Butte and Bozeman and Winnett. So it is fixable. It's in DC, nothing happens as fast as what I would like. But as a new kid in the block here, I probably have more influence than I deserve. I'm going to stay disciplined, and I don't yield to pressure, and I will always do what's in the interest of Montana and our great nation. Thank you, God bless, and God bless the state of Montana.